it seems like we're at a point right now where Magomed Ankalaev, he's really the only opponent left for Pereira at 205. Now, I said this last time, and then the second Jiri fight came about. But, I mean, this time, it really, really does seem like this is the next fight that's up. You know, for most of us, this is the one we've been waiting for. It is very, very clear. Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira are the two most skillful fighters at 205. We know that Magomed Ankalaev, he's a very, very high-level striker. His wrestling is really good. His top pressure is really good. And at the end of the day, he's from Dagestan. You know what I mean? Dagestanis, they're like the black guys of the UFC. You know what I mean? Me neither. But, look, point is, right, this is the fight. This is the fight. Alex Pereira has done some incredible things, but this is going to be the ultimate test. But after the Jiri fight, you know, I think it's safe to say most people are of the mind that nobody's going to beat Alex Pereira on the feet, right? Nobody is going to beat Alex on the feet. He is just too good. He's too powerful. He's too dangerous, you know? But Magomed Ankalaev has been saying, he's been making it very, very clear that he's not even going to look for any takedowns in this fight. He's going to keep it on the feet, and he believes that he can knock Alex Pereira out. Now, most people think this is a bunch of hogwash. They think it's nonsense, and I don't blame them for thinking that. But you know who doesn't think that? The odds makers. The odds makers have Magomed Ankalaev as a minus 300 favorite. Isn't that kind of insane? Honestly, yes and no. At the end of the day, Magomed Ankalaev is genuinely, I mean, I would say by far the second best striker in this entire division. I mean, and I don't think there's a question there. And on the ground, he most likely would give Pereira some problems. But honestly, I don't think this has anything to do with skill. I think stylistically, Magomed Ankalaev, he cannot stand with Alex Pereira. He can't do it. Alex Pereira, the issues he presents, what he's good at, Magomed Ankalaev's skill set, it is not built to face somebody like Alex Pereira. I mean, I think that is just the simple fact of the matter. First things first, do we even believe Ankalaev that he's not going to look for any takedowns against Pereira? That seems kind of foolish, but I think what's important to remember is Ankalaev is a striker at heart. He comes from a combat sambo background, so, you know, of course, he's very, very well-rounded, but striking is his A-game. It's what he likes to do. The only times we've ever seen him shoot takedowns in MMA is when he has absolutely had to, which was against Jan Blachowicz. If you give him top position, of course he'll take it, but he's rarely the one seeking out takedowns because, frankly, he almost always has the striking advantage against anybody he's fighting. And the reason for that is Ankalaev, he has such fast combinations. I mean, his hands are really, really fast. And what he is always looking to do, I mean, his number one thing is to try to find counters. And he's very, very good at it. You overextend on a right hand against him, he'll do a tight slip and then land a 2, 3, 4 punch combination really accurately right on your chin, and he'll knock you out. He has done this time and time again, even against guys who are known as really good boxers like Volkan Ozdemir. And, you know, of course, when I say really good boxers, I mean really good boxers for the 205, you know, weight class, because it can be a bit few and far in between there. But like I said, his number one thing he's always looking to do is counter. But he's looking to do it to such an extent that he hates going first. And I think that's the first big problem we run into for Ankalaev in this matchup. He hates going first. Now, he always pressures you. He gets right in your face. He walks you down. He cuts the octagon off, and he stands right in front of you. But what he's doing is he's baiting you to throw just so he can counter you. I mean, that is what he's almost always looking to do. And what tends to happen is he baits out the guy to throw a right hand, he slips, and then he counters over and over and over again. And he really picks guys apart. The only guy we've really seen give Ankalaev problems on the feet, just purely skill for skill, was Jan Blachowicz, who of course is one of the best strikers in that division. And even then, Ankalaev, he had a huge speed advantage. He was finding counters very well, but of course, and this is the big one, the leg kicks. I mean, the leg kicks for Ankalaev is a real problem. You see, Magomed's stance, it is sort of boxing-esque in the sense that he stands very flat-footed. Now, Muay Thai fighters, you always see them bouncing their front leg, keeping it very light, because when you're putting pressure on your leg, the calf kick or the leg kick is going to hurt, I mean, I would say about 10 times as much as if you're keeping it very, very light. I mean, that is just how it works. So because Magomed is standing right in front of you, he's looking to bait out your counter, he's standing pretty flat-footed, the leg kicks, they just have a massive, massive effect on him. But again, and I want to make this so clear that on the feet, Magomed Ankalaev is pretty much as skillful as you can possibly get. I mean, he truly is. But when you look at him matching up against Alex Pereira on the feet, just purely stylistically, that's where the problems really start to arise for Magomed, because, as I said, he hates going first. And Alex Pereira never overextends. He very, very rarely does. For the most part, he likes to stand very tall. He throws a lot of jabs, a lot of long lead hooks, and a lot of calf kicks from the outside. He will not be gifting Ankalaev opportunities to slip and get on the inside and counter. He is going to force Magomed to have to be the one to press the action. And as we know, he does not like to do that. Now, against Jan Blachowicz, Jan realized this as the fight was going on. He stopped overextending. He was throwing a lot of long shots and a lot of leg kicks, and he was really forcing Ankalaev to have to try to push the pace and move forward with blitzes. And you can tell Ankalaev was just not as effective in that area. Now, of course, Jan kind of threw that fight away because, I mean, he had really destroyed both of Magomed's legs. He started getting really desperate just to land one more, and, you know, he started rushing it. He wasn't setting it up well, and then, of course, there was a threat with the takedown because Jan Blachowicz is absolute dog water off of his back. But when he fights Alex Pereira, I mean, he is going to absolutely have to be the one pressing forward, trying to land shots by moving forward. He's going to be shorter. Pereira is going to have a reach advantage, a length advantage, a huge power advantage. Now, I would still give Ankalaev the speed advantage, of course. I think he's the fastest in the entire division. But, like I said, Alex Pereira is not overextending with a right hand. He's going to keep it very long, he's going to be very safe, and he's just going to be landing calf kick after calf kick after calf kick. Now, a lot has been made of Pereira's calf kicks. I know Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier have made a big deal about how Pereira explained to them how he throws it, and it's so revolutionary. They don't want to reveal it to the world because that's just how insane of a kick it is. Look, I'll tell you what it is right now. Let's look at the anatomy of a human leg real quick. So you take a leg, right, and the shin bone, now this is what's important. The shin bone is on the inside of the leg, right? But when you look at like a Thai fighter throw a kick, they completely turn their hips over to maximize the power of the kick. Which, if you're going for a body kick, you know, that makes sense. You need as much force as you possibly can. You want to turn your whole body into the kick. But when you're looking at something like a calf kick, you really do not need that much force on it. You just need to land it clean. So what Pereira does, he just does not turn the hips over at all. He practically throws his leg almost at like a diagonal angle upward. And because the shin bone is on the inside of the leg, it lands flush every single time, and there's no telegraph. You don't see it coming because he's not turning his hips over. And when you mix that in with the fact that Pereira is going to be keeping this fight very long, he's going to be forcing Ankalaev to have to come to him, and all Pereira needs to do is land one shot to put Magomed's lights out. On the feet, I mean, this is a terrible matchup for Ankalaev. Absolutely terrible. He's going to have to try to look for takedowns. Now, is he going to do it? Are we going to take him at his word that he's just not going to, he's not even going to try? Honestly, a part of me thinks the reason why he's saying it is because it's not that simple to take Alex down. He's very physically strong. He's been working on his takedown defense a lot. Now, as I've said in the past, if Ankalaev were to get Pereira flat on his back, he's going to have some problems there. Ankalaev's top pressure is genuinely really good. And what we saw from the Jan Blachowicz fight, Pereira, he got taken down, he turtled kind of recklessly, gave up his back, and Jan ended up getting the body triangle. But since then, against Jiri, which was the only other time we've seen him taken down, he stayed a lot more defensively sound. He didn't rush the position. Really, he seemed like he was willing to completely ride the round out if that's what it took, but he was using frames on Jiri's biceps to prevent ground and pound. He wasn't turtling. He waited until he can get his back up to the fence to work his way up, and he was a lot safer that time around, which, I mean, you can tell he's put the work in and he's really drilled these positions. So, I mean, really, what I think it comes down to is that it's not as simple as just, oh, get a hold of Alex. It is not that simple. I mean, it's difficult to close the distance with him. He's extremely dangerous with the flying knees and the one-punch knockout power. You have to be very careful timing the takedown. Once you get in on the shot, Pereira is very physically strong. He's not as easy as you thought to take down. If you do get him down, he's going to stay very defensively safe. It's going to be hard to win the fight from there, and the fight's going to reset on the feet, and then all of a sudden, maybe it is your best option to strike with Pereira. And if Ankalaev is going to do that, I think he's going to lose horribly. I mean, I really, really do.